Okay, one of our clients just gave us a job, and our job here is to perform a black box penetration test. So he is setting up an infrastructure, and he wants us to perform a penetration test so he can come up with a report that is going to show him the vulnerabilities that we've discovered and how he can go ahead and fix those. All right, so because this is a black box penetration test, the only information we have about our target here is the website. So if you look at this here, I do have the target here, and this is the only information we have about that target, and we have the website here. So let's jump into it. The first thing we are going to do is to of course click on the link and see what we have on there. All right, so when I try to go to the website, we have this error. So I'm just going to try again. So I'm just going to do gitprotect.com. Oh, okay, now so this time it works, and as you can see, it looks like we do have our first issue here, and it's that the website is not running on SSL. So that is the first thing we're going to recommend in our report, that he implements SSL on his website so that traffic to his website is secured. Yep. So we're just going to go through the website. So we're just going through to see if we're going to find something that is, oh, we have a web form here. So this may be something interesting. We're going to check that. We have a website here. We have the home page. We have about, we have services. Okay, so this is just a basic, like a basic website. So we're just going to check the content to see if there's anything hidden there that can be of help to us. So as basic as it can get, this is what we have here as a website. Okay, so I think that is as much as we can gather from the website. Nothing useful. So the only thing we see here is it's not running SSL. So we may just have to recommend our client to implement secure shell SSL on his website. All right, so what do we do next? So the only thing we have here is the fact that if this website is running, it's not like the web server is not secured. So and that's it. So what else can we do here? So we do have the website. Something we can do is to try and find out like what is the IP address of the server that is hosting this website. That is exactly what we're going to do. So to get the IP that is hosting the website, we're just going to do ping gitprotect.com, and look at that. So when we do ping gitprotect, we do see the IP address of our target here, and this is very important here. So we now have the IP address of the target, and with this IP address we can now perform our first scan on the target network. So of course we could still perform the scan with the domain name itself, but yeah, we do have the IP. Working with the IP is definitely better. All right, so what we are going to do, we are going to start up Metasploit. So I'm going to say service Post-SQL start MSF console. So I'm starting the Metasploit framework console along with the PostgreSQL that Metasploit uses. Just going to give it some time here. Okay, so Metasploit is almost ready. Just give it a couple of seconds, and there we go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create a workspace. So I'm just going to say workspace, and then we are adding a new workspace, and I'm going to call this gitprotect. So we added the workspace. If I just do workspace now, we'll see that we are now in the gitprotect workspace. All right, Next thing we are going to do, we're just going to perform a regular nmap scan from within Metasploit console. So the results are going to be stored in the Metasploit database. So to do that, I'm going to do db_nmap, and then I'm going to specify that we are doing we are going to do a blind scan without having to use a ping sweep. And then we are going to do a let's just do that. What else can we do here? Yeah, let's just do a normal scan, and we'll just go for the website, the IP address we got, or we just go for gitcotech.com, or in this case we're going to go for the website that was, I think I copied, pasted. Okay, so this is the IP address of the website. So we'll do this and we'll just hit enter and see what we get. Okay, that was quick, and we have some very important information here. So you can see we have a lot of ports open, and this can be very interesting here. So as you can see, we have TCP port 53, we have port 80, and we have very interesting ports here. You could also notice that we have RDP open, and yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to clear here, and if we do services, we would be able to see all the services that we found as of now. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, since as we do have the ports that are running, I'm going to perform an nmap scan, but this time it's going to be targeted only on these ports. So I'm going to do nmap scan. The same thing, we're going to do that without having to deal with ping. And then we're going to do a service version detection. We're also going to do a SYN scan, and we are also going to do that. And then what else? We are also going to specify the ports, since as we do have the ports here. So we're going to do that on port 53, do that on port 80, do that on port 88, do that on port 135, do that on port 389, do that on port 445, do that on port 464, do that on port 593, 633, 3268, 3268, 3269, 3269, 3389, 3389, and 5357, 5357. Okay, next thing we specify our target. So I still have it copied. I'm just going to paste that there, enter. Just put in a password, and nmap is going to perform a scan that is going to bring forth the most important information for us here is going to be the service versions. So it's going to bring forth this same result here, but this time we're going to have more information, and what we are looking for are the versions of the different services that are running on those open ports that we found. All right, so we have our result here. We just have to go through that. So as you can see here, we do have port 53 that is running simple DNS plus. We have port 80 that is running an HTTP server that is Microsoft IIS, so that is very important. That is probably what is hosting the website that we just visited. Okay, we just go through again. We do see here, we do have port 88 that is Kerberos, and what else? We just go through that to see the different services that are running, and yeah. So the idea now will be to check if we can find any service running on this target that is vulnerable to any exploit that we may leverage to compromise this target. So this is simple DNS. So we just copy this. I'll just take this, copy that, and I'm going to do search exploits, and I'm going to paste that. I hope that works. That doesn't work. All right, I'm just going to open a new target, and I do set exploit, and I paste that. Do we have any results? Says that doesn't exist. All right, we're just going to go to Google and we'll go to exploitdb.com, And on exploit DB, we're going to search that to see if there's any vulnerability on Microsoft. Do we have anything? Nothing. Okay, so as you can see here, we have some vulnerabilities on Microsoft IIS, but these are of lower versions than what our target is running. So our target is running, if you look at it here, our target is running, let me check that, version 10. And here, all the versions we see here are below 10. So these exploits are probably not going to work on this target. All right, let us continue our search. Yeah, so basically we just have to do this and hopefully we'll find something. But in this case, we did not find anything that was helpful. So what we'll do next is to see if we have any other hosts found in the same network where we have our target. And we'll do that by performing an nmap scan, but this time we'll just do that on the entire network. So we'll say from IP number 1 to 255, and we'll hit enter. Just give it some time, and this time it's going to scan through the entire range of ports here and bring forth all the hosts that hopefully are connected on the same network where we have that server connected to. So just give it some time. Okay, so now we have our results here. Okay, let's look at that. Do we have something important here? So this is, we're not running this as root. Let's see. Okay, we have our first port here, and it says that host is up. We have a couple of ports open on that host. Okay, we have our second host here. We also have some ports open. Okay, we have our third host. We also have some ports, I think. We have our fourth host, our fifth host, and we do have a couple of ports open. So this host here looks interesting. So I'm just going to use that. So I'm going to copy that IP, and then okay, so I'm just going to copy that IP, and then I'm going to perform a network scan now. It is going to be only on that host. So I'm just going to do DB nmap, and I'm going to do same thing. We don't want to use any ping. We want to do service version detection, and I think that should be good. And we want to do that on the ports that were open. And what ports did we have open here? We had a couple of ports, so I'm just going to do that on port 80 just for the sake of time and simplicity here. So I'm going to do it on port 80, and I'm going to specify the target. Hit enter. Okay, so now we have our result here, and if we look at that, we do have something important running here on port 80, and what we have is bad blue. All right, so let us check what that is. I'm just going to go here on my browser, and I'm going to type in that IP address, just paste it out and see what we have. Oh, look at that, we do have something here. So the tool is Bad Blue Enterprise Edition, and what is this? So search using click on folders, just going through to see if we have anything important. So right here we do not have anything that makes a lot of sense, but the only thing we have here is that we are running a tool called badblue. Okay, let's check. So this is a tool here and this is a version. I'm just going to copy that and I go to exploit DB and I'm going to type that in to see if we have something. And nothing coming up, so I'm just going to clean that off. Nothing. I'm going to clean that off. Oh, look at that. So we have something here, something going on. So this is badblue, and we can see we have a command remote buffer overflow, remote buffer overflow, unauthorized proxy relay. We have a lot of things here. So let's look at the one we could use. So we have page 2 here. Oh, look at that. So the version we found was 2.7, and guess what? We do have exploits for that specific version. So we have 2.7 here, and we even have those that are for Metasploit, our preferable tool here. So I'm just going to click on this one because we see it is version 7.2 and it has Metasploit on it. So I'm going to click on that. So we can just go through here, and this is the exploit code that we can use to exploit that vulnerability on that tool called badblue. And I think what is also important here, it says Metasploit, so hopefully we'll be able to use Metasploit to take advantage of this. All right, let's go back to our console. I'm just going to clear everything on services one more time just to see what we have here. As you can see, we have a lot of things going on here. Okay, just going to clear again. Okay, finally. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we do know on port 80 on that target we do have a vulnerable service running. All right, we are already in Metasploit, so the next thing we're going to do is going to search that that module on Metasploit and see if we could find it and make use of it. So I'm going to do search, and I'm just going to type badblue. Oh, look at that, we have results. So this is our first result here, badblue. Okay, this is the second one, badblue, and this is the third one. All right, let's look at what we had on here. Badblue pass through. All right, let's look at this. Badblue pass through. Okay, so we can make use of this one. So I'm going to go use, and I'm going to specify the index here. So use one. Okay, I'm going to show options. So here what we have to do is we have to set the remote host here, or the target that we the target on which we have that service running. And what else? I think that is the only thing we have to do here. So I'm just going to do set our host, and I'm going to set it to that IP. And if you can remember, the IP is I think I have the IP somewhere. Yeah, I think we have it somewhere here. So this is the IP here. I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it here, of course without anything else. Okay, so now we do have that. I'm just going to do show options again. I'm just going to reduce the zoom here. I have the impression, yeah, I think this is better. Okay, so now you see the remote host has been set. What else do we have to set here? We already have our target, badblue 2.7, everything is good. So I'm just going to go hit run. So we sit back and cross our fingers, and hopefully we do have a meta-reputation, and yes, we got it. So this is our first success. So we just exploited a target that is found on the same network where our main target, or the main server, the main Gitcotech server was located on. So this is very important here. So in our report, we're going to include the services we found, the different ports we found that were open, and the different services that we found, and The first vulnerable service we just found here is bad blue. Okay, so we just have a MetaPreter session. This is good to us. So we have to look at a couple of things we can do on this MetaPreter session. So I'm just going to do sysinfo, and that is sysinfo. And we can see here we are on the architecture of the host here is 64-bit, and it is a Windows 7 host, and the MetaPreter session we are running is 82-bit. So we are on a 64-bit host, but our MetaPreter session is on 32-bit. So that is already something that we have to fix, just so everything works properly. Something else we could do is we could do get UID, and we can see here we are in the user sysadmin, and what else we can do, yeah, so we could do other things. So I'm just going to do shell to see if we can spin up a command prompt, and yeah, we got it. So if I do net user, we'll see the number of users we have in this on this system. As you can see, we have administrator, guest, and LMP here. Okay, so we have the LMP user, and the name of the host here is sysadmin. Okay, the next thing we are going to try doing is we are going to see if we can look at the privileges that we have as this current user. So what we are going to do is we're going to do net user, net local good administrator. So we want to look at the administrator group here and see what we have there. That is not okay, so that's supposed to be net user. So net user, and then yep, net user. What else do we have here? So let's just see if we could change the password of a user. So if we do net user LNP, and then let's just enter some random password and hit enter. Oh, as you can see here, we do not have the access to that. That means we do not have full privileges. Like we still have to like do some privilege escalation, so we could have administrator, or as I would say it if we were in a Linux environment, so we can now have root access to the system. Okay, so I'm just going to set this in the background, and on MetaPreter I'm just going to see if that is possible for me to clear the screen. Is that even possible? Okay, that's not possible. Okay, on MetaPreter, what we are going to do is what can we do here on MetaPreter? Let's see if we could do get privs to see the privileges that we have here. Okay, so as the current user that we are connected to, we do have just a few privileges. So if we were administrator, we would have seen like a whole bunch of stuff here. So this is the only thing we have here. Okay, we're going to try and see if we can elevate our privileges, and then do some privilege escalation and get into like to get like root access or administrator privileges. So I'm going to do get system. Okay, so that doesn't work, so it fails. Okay, so what we are going to do next is to migrate this 32-bit shell that we got, 32-bit command prompt shell that we got, into a 64-bit. We'll do that by listing the processes. So if I just do ps, we'll see all the processes that are running, and from this we're just going to grep the Explorer service. I think it should be somewhere, so I'm just going to do pgrep and Explorer, and we see that the process ID is 1188. So if we just check for 1188, where do we have that? Yeah, this is 1188. Is that 1188? Yeah, we have another one, but blue pgrep Explorer 1188. Yeah, anyways, we could just migrate to that. Let's see if they are 64 bits. Oh, this is 1168. So Explorer is supposed to be 1168. So let me do that again. pgrep Explorer 1188. That is so strange. because we could see here, oh yeah, here is where we look at that. Okay, so the Explorer service, as you can see, it is running on a 64-bit version, so we can just migrate our current session there. So what I will do is I will do migrate, and I'll do 1188. So hopefully this works, and our shell is now going to be okay. That worked. So if we go into shell again, you now see our shell is going to be let me just keep that in the background. If we do sysinfo now, you would see now our shell have moved from x86 to x64. All right, that is another good thing that we've already done. The next thing we have is to elevate our privileges, or do some privilege escalation and get full access onto the system. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep this in the background, and I'm going to clear the screen. I am going to search for a module that we could use for this, and we'll do this by bypassing Windows UAC, and UAC is Windows User Access Control. That is what actually controls if you do have access to do something or not. So we're just going to bypass that, and then hopefully we'll now have like full privilege or admin access to the system. So I'm going to search for bypass UAC. Okay, so we have a lot of them here. I'm just going to search through and see if we have one that we are going to use. Okay, so this is the one we are going to use here, and if you read through, you would see here it is Windows UAC protection bypass in memory injection. That is what we're going to use. So I'm going to say use 5, or I can just copy this, and then I would say use, and I paste it there. Okay, so I'm now going to do show options. So the only thing we have to set here is the session. So I'm going to do session. I'm going to do set session, and I'm going to set that to session. All right, we'll have to check that. So if I list out the sessions I have here, we'll see we do have sessions, and this is ID number 1. So I'm going to do set session to 1. And I think that should be good. What is left for us to do is just to run. So the local host here has been set to our local IP. That is good. So I'm just going to do run. Oh, so as you can see here, it identified the operating system, and it says part of the group, that part of group administrator. So the user, like this, the user that we compromise is part of the group administrator. That is already good. And then it said UAC is set to default. That's good. And then it now tries to bypass. It says it can bypass, and when it tried to bypass, it got an error, and the error says bad config x86 target selected for 64-bit. Okay, so as you can see here, if we just do show options again, you would see that here on our target, the target is set to x86. All right, let's change that. So we do set target, and we'll set it to x60, set target to Windows x64. That's good. To try running again. Oh, that doesn't work. So it says exploit Windows Metaprinter is not a compatible payload. Okay, so it says our payload, so this is our payload here, is currently set to this, and this is not compatible. So the reason it says this is because this here is a 32-bit payload. So remember, this was set to 32. So I'm just going to show options again. So now this is set to 34, whereas we have a 32-bit payload. So we just have to change that. So I'm just going to copy this here, and I'll do set payload, and I paste it here, and we have to modify what we have here to x64. Hit enter, and let's run again. Oh, look at that. Oh, successfully injected payload into the process and detect. Oh, look at that. We now have another Metaprinter session. This is wonderful. So if we try and do sysinfo, okay, we are on. Okay, let's see, get UID. Oh, okay, we are still on the same user. Let's do what can we do again? Let's do shell. Let's just open the command prompt shell. Let's do net user. Okay, let's try doing something that we couldn't do before and see if this works. So we're going to do net user, and then we'll try at let's just try np here, and let's try a random password. Let's see that. Look at that, we just changed the password of a user. That worked. So this means we are connected onto the system with all administrative privileges. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep this in the background, and then I'm going to do get brief to see the privileges we have. And look at that, we do have all the privileges. We can also go get system to like got this is like we are able to we have to be able to get full access to that. Okay, that is wonderful. All right, so what else can we do here? Let's just list. Let's now do some searching. We're just going to search through this computer and see if we could find something interesting. So I just did ls here. We have a lot of gibberish there, so I'm just going to spare myself that straight. I'm going to do the shell again, and then I'm going to do cd into the C drive and see what we have there. Okay, we do have some files here, so the idea here will be just like to go through. So I'm going to go into the users folder, and then I'm going to do the and see what we have there. Okay, we have the user here, and we have okay, let's see. We're going to that user, see what we have there. We have some file. Okay, let's just check the desktop. Maybe we could find something interesting there. Desktop, what do we have there? We have, so this looks like a shortcut. What else? Oops, nothing else. All right, so let's just go back. Let's see if we have something else. We could just check documents. Maybe we'll have some important documents lying somewhere. What else? Nothing. Just go back, and I'm just going to do I'm going to list what we have maybe in downloads. Yeah, let's list what we have in downloads and see. Downloads, dear downloads. I'm just going to cd into so what we have in downloads, what do we have there? All right, we have a couple of files. We have hfx. What is this? Don't know what that is. What else? We have some zip files here. Okay, so what we have, we know we do have some files and downloads, and we have to get all of those and keep them so we can let on and inspect them. So I'm just going to keep this just before we just take note of the location. That's downloads. Okay, what else? Let's just continue searching. I'm just going to go back and just see what we have here. Just going to go back. We could like search everything. I'm going to go back, see what we have here. Just going to go back again, see what we have here. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to check what we have in the temp folder. So generally, when system administrators are working on a system, they always create a temp folder on which they can keep files temporarily and make use of the file. It could be like installers or whatever. They make use of it, and then they later on like clear everything out. So I'm going to check that folder. This is very important folder, and see if we have something in there. So I'm going to check that. What do we have there? Oops, looks like it's an empty folder. All right. Let's see if we could list the content and list hidden content. So I'm going to do dir. I'm going to do a. Oh, look at that. We do have a file here. Host information. Okay. Let's check the content of the file. So I'm going to do type host info.txt. I hit enter. Oh, look at that. We just fell on a gold mine here. So we have so look at that. We have server. What if these are passwords of different hosts that we have on this network? I'm just going to copy that Let me look at that. Okay, I'm just going to copy that just so we do not miss it in any case. I'm just going to copy that, and then I'm going to put this session in the background. On Metaprinter, I'm going to print out the working directory. I'm going to move back to my C drive and go to users and go to downloads. What is that? System cannot find. Let's do that step by step. I'm going to do that. What is that? Okay, let me put working directory again. That did not work. I'm going to do C and I'm going to do this. Okay, this works on Meta. Okay, so now I'm going to do CD into users. I'm going to do CD into the LMP user, and I'm going to do CD into downloads. CD into downloads, yes. And then I'm going to list what we have here, and I'm going to download 3.9. Download that. Okay, we got that on our system. I'm going to download the other one, that is download HF, and that is basically how we can collect files. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to a new document here, and I'm just going to do nano loot.txt, and I'm going to paste what we copied. Very important information, and I'm just going to write and exit. So we do have a file here that we can return to at any time. Okay, what I'm going to do next here, I'm just going to move to where we had that file that was in the C drive, and that was in the temp folder, and yep, I'm just going to list out everything we have there. Oh, that is a file here, so we can do download. Can we do that? Download host. Oh, that worked perfectly. Okay, so what are we going to do next? The next thing we are going to do is just I'm just going to put this in the background, and let's check what we had. So I'm going to cut that file that do we have that here? Oh, that should, okay, so I already have it here. So this is the file. So let's just interpret it. We have server, something that looks like a password, control tower, something that looks like a password, DB server, something that look, all right, let's just take one as an example here. I'm going to copy this here, and this may be the password of the main server running gitcotech.com. So I'm just going to run a scan again on gitcotech.com. This time I'm going to do it out of Metasploit. That doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do nmap, and I'm just going to do service version. Do I do service version? No need for that. I'm just going to do nmap, and I'm just going to do it on git.com. Yep, just want to see the ports that we have on there. Okay, so these are the ports here. So if this happened to be the password of a user, then we can use RDP. We know RDP runs on 3389, so we could try using RDP and see if we could remote into that system using this password. That could be tried, quite interesting. Let's try that. So I'm going to use a tool called xFreeRDP. I'm going to specify the user. We know on all like Windows platform, we do have a user that is called administrator. Try that. That is administrator, and the password that we just got is copy that again and I paste it here. The next thing is we specify the target that we want to connect with /v, and that is gitcotech.com. Let's try that. Oh, look at that, it worked. So if I hit yes, whoa, so we just got full access to the whole network. So this is probably the server that is running the website. And look at that, guys, we do have the server management console here. We could tell that we are on Windows Server. We are probably there as an administrator. This is crazy. So we are going to include this in our report. We just compromised this a server, and let's just try and go around and see what we have here. Let's try if we do have group policy. Oh, look at that, we do have the Windows group policy management here. We could use that like to manage. Let's check if we do have, if this like is a domain controller. So we'll check if we do have like Active Directory. Oh, look at that, Active Directory users and computers. Let's try that. This is wonderful. Oh, look at that, we do have access to all the users. This is a user, this is another user. This is wonderful. So we can just reset the passwords of this user and get full access to the sessions. Like, this is crazy. So what else can we do here? Let's check, like, this is a, let's check if we do have like a, if you could like find a server. So oh, look at that, this is Microsoft Microsoft like a legacy server. That is a information like Microsoft IS. I'm just going to click on that. Oh, look at that, we have something here. We do have a website, and look at that, we have sites here. We do have a default site, and if you right click on this and hit explore, look at that, we do have the contents of the file. So if we want to confirm if this is like the same website, we could just like open this with I could just open it with Notepad, see the content. If we look at the title, where do we have title? Look at that, Git Code Tech Solutions. If we compare that with what we had here, that is Git Code Tech Solutions. So I think here we could tell that this was like a very very poorly designed infrastructure, and we probably have a lot to recommend to our client. The first thing is what we have here. Make sure the website is secured. The second thing is to make sure we do not have files lying around, like we just like got files containing passwords. That's crazy. As crazy as it might sound, we do have system administrators that still make that mistake. So we just have to recommend that to our client. We also have like the most important recommendation for our client to patch, to make sure the services that are running the latest versions and are patched. So the version of the service that we exploited was Bad Blue 2.7. So they just have to make sure they are running a version that has this vulnerability that we exploited patched. That should probably be the latest version. So that's it, guys. That is how we perform a penetration test. So all we have to do now is just to present a report, and yeah, probably get some dough, some money. All right, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, do not forget to give it a like, and yep, hoping we'll meet next time. Thank you. Bye bye.